Cheesy the Podcast, presented by Just Cheesy Productions.
Hi there, I'm your host Fondue.
Cheesy here.
With the holidays in full swing, we're going to talk all about cheese spreads.
Whoa.
We're talking about pimento cheese, Boursin, and dips from around the world.
Whoa.
And in our popular segment, This Week in Cheese, we're going to talk about a spread of cheese that cost $7,000.
Holy cow.
And of course, no episode would be complete without our very cheesy joke.
Joke.
Stay tuned for episode 107, Spread the Cheese, on Just Cheesy the Podcast. According to SouthernLiving.com, back in the 1870s, cream cheese was coming to life in New York. In the article, they quote Serious Eats when they say that Spain began sending canned red peppers, or pimento, over to the United States. And it says here that the peppers soon caught people's attention, minus the extra letter I. The first pimento cheese recipe was from Good Housekeeping in 1908.
Whoa.
The recipe included cream cheese, mustard, chives, and minced pimentos. And apparently it was so popular, it began to be mass-produced in the South.
Holy cow.
Farmers in Georgia were trying to grow red peppers domestically.
Of course.
They roasted them, canned them, and sent them out as many as 10 million cans of pimentos a year.
Holy cow.
During the holidays, this cheese spread could be perfect. The dip could be easily spread on crackers or celery.
Yeah.
Another spreadable cheese is made by the Bell brand Laughing Cow, and this cheese goes back to 1921.
Whoa.
They describe the cheese as smooth, savory, rich, and robust.
Yummy.
Another Bell brand is called Boursin. These cheese spreads are ready to go. They've got garlic and fine herbs,
Yeah.
cracked black pepper, shallot and chive, basil and chive, caramelized onion and herb, and chimichurri style.
So good.
This cheese started in 1957
Whoa.
with a guy named Francois Boursin.
Okay.
Apparently, he worked for quite a few years trying to perfect his signature cheese.
Wow.
But in 1961, a French newspaper mistakenly reported the launch of Boursin infused with garlic, and the public loved the idea.
Oh.
But the problem was Francois had no recipe in the works that included garlic.
Oh no.
But he quickly got to work to meet the public's demand. He worked for 2 years
Whoa.
trying to perfect his own original recipe inspired by fromage frais, a traditional party dish that blends garlic, fresh cream, soft cheese, herbs, salt, and pepper. And by 1963, he was satisfied and he introduced it to the world.
Wow.
The Bell brand is not a sponsor.
Nope.
But if it were, the ad would go right here. Have you ever wanted to listen to the web?
Yeah.
Well, Newsly makes that possible.
They do.
They're an all-in-one audio super app for iOS and Android.
Super app.
You can listen to trending articles on the web on topics that you choose and get them read to you in a natural human voice.
What kind of topics?
Sports,
Cheese?
tech, business, science.
Cheese?
I'm sure there's even cheese.
Yay.
They even have an entire section for podcasts.
Are we there?
Of course we are.
Ooh.
It's one of my new favorite podcast apps. They even have digital radio.
Holy cow.
Just go to www.newsly.me to download it free.
Whoa.
Or use the link in the description. If you use the promo code CHEESY,
Cheesy.
that'll get you 1 month free premium subscription.
Yay. Newsly.
Now, back to the podcast. There are all types of cheese spreads scattered throughout the world.
Whoa.
According to Wikipedia, almagrote is a soft paste made from hard cheese, peppers, olive oil, garlic, and other ingredients. According to FascinatingSpain.com, this cheese item is from the Canary Islands, and they say it has a texture similar to that of pâté. They also say this is a result of mixing 2 basic foods of the area, which is goat cheese and pimento.
Yum.
They say the recipe is for using up hard goat's cheese.
Oh.
And they also say that this is the last trace of a sauce popular in Spain during the Middle Ages.
Holy cow.
It's served on bread or as an accompaniment. Liptauer
Oh boy.
is a cheese spread from Slovakian, Austrian, and Hungarian cuisine. According to Wikipedia, it's made with sheep milk, goat cheese, quark, or cottage cheese. One particular note here says that in Serbia it's called Urnbez salata, which is chaos salad. Typically, the cheese is mixed with sour cream, butter or margarine, chopped onions, and sometimes beer. It's typically spiced with paprika, parsley, and whole or ground caraway seeds.
Yum.
And they talk about variants here, having mustard, Worcestershire sauce, capers, and anchovy paste. It's traditionally served as an open sandwich with rye bread, pumpernickel toast, or bagels. Of course, France gets in on the action.
Of course.
There is a cheese spread called cervelle de canut.
Oh my.
Of course, I'm sorry about the pronunciation.
Yes, please.
This is a white cheese seasoned with chopped herbs, shallots, salt, pepper, olive oil, and vinegar. And the name literally means silk worker's brain.
Oh no.
Apparently, they say this because in the 19th century in Lyon, it's thought that the affluent of Lyon did not have a high opinion of the weavers.
Aww.
And on the website, thefrenchcookingacademy.com, they actually have a recipe. It calls for cottage cheese, goat cheese, creme fraiche, shallots, cloves of garlic, parsley, chives, onion, walnut oil, vinegar, and salt and pepper. The Greeks are getting in on the action with something called, I'm sorry ahead of time,
Oh man.
tiro kafteri.
Oh boy.
The typical ingredients are feta cheese combined with one or more soft types of white cheeses, hot peppers, roasted peppers, olive oil, lemon juice, garlic, yogurt, or oregano.
Yum.
And according to the MediterraneanDish.com, it only takes about 10 minutes to make. And typically, you would use a French baguette or pita chips or pitas to dip in this yummy appetizer.
Yum.
It's time for my favorite segment.
This week in cheese.
According to BuzzFeed.com, there is a TikToker called Sophisticated Spreads. This is a company focused on creating, quote, aesthetically pleasing cheese boards and grazing tables. The company is run by Emmy Renner, a 22-year-old USC student. But what made this TikToker go viral was a showcase of a grazing table for an engagement party that she catered. And this grazing table cost $7,000.
Holy cow.
There was a lot of backlash at the cost of this cheese board table.
I bet.
The cheese board was 25 feet long, and it was also for 150 people, and it was the only food at the event.
Makes sense.
Garland was hand-woven by a florist into the cheese board, and the couple opted to have artisan cheeses. But Emmy says, and I quote, I charged $7,000 for a cheese board, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm making it clear to other business owners who don't know their worth, you can charge whatever you want. And if people are booking it and your clients are happy, then you're doing it right.
I'm ready for a joke, Fondue.
What did the cheese spread say to the cracker?
I don't know.
I think we should stick together. Get it?
Yeah.
Stick together? Because cheese spread sticks to a cracker?
It's kind of bad.
I'm well aware that they're not always good, but they're always a little bit cheesy. Thanks for listening to Just Cheesy the Podcast, episode 107, Cheese Spread.
Thank you.
We're hoping you try to interact with us and tell us what we're doing right.
Yes, please.
In this week's episode on Spotify, you can interact with us and let us know.
Stay cheesy, everybody.